Welcome to Manthan Physio Academy. Let us start with the new topic, that is lever systems. Basically, levers are the simple machines which makes our work easier with minimum effort. And by definition, if I say that lever, it is a rigid bar which is capable of movement surrounding a fixed point. Again, repeat with me, what is lever? Lever, it is a rigid bar which is capable of movement surrounding a fixed point, which is termed as a lever. Before we study the actual concept of a lever, let me give you an idea of a basic three components of a lever. First is fulcrum. Fulcrum means what? It is a point surrounding which movement occurs. Second is effort, that is point of application of force, that is termed as an effort. And the third thing is weight, or I can use another term, that is resistance, that is third component of a lever systems. Another two concepts that we need to remember, that is effort arm and the weight arm. So a distance from the fulcrum to the effort, which is termed as an effort arm, and distance from the fulcrum to the weight is termed as an resistance arm or the weight arm. Now, there are three orders or classes of the levers. In the first order lever, fulcrum lies in the middle and the weight and the effort which lies on the end of a rigid bar. As you can see in this diagram, fulcrum is in the middle. On the one end there is effort, on the another end that is weight. But fulcrum may change its position. It may go towards the effort side or towards the weight side. Okay, but it doesn't change the class or the order of a lever. Second is the second order lever or the second class lever, in which fulcrum lies on the one end of a rigid bar, weight lies in the middle, and the effort lies on the another end. Here we need to apply a concept of effort arm and the weight arm. So effort arm is always exceed in length than the weight arm in the second order lever, that we always need to remember. For the third order lever, exactly opposite occurs. Fulcrum lies at the one end of a rigid bar, that is fixed, but here effort lies in the middle and the weight lies on the another end of a rigid bar, as you can see in this diagram. Here, if we apply the concept of a effort arm and the weight arm, then effort arm will be shorter than the weight arm, which means that in the third order lever, to gain our work or to accomplish our goal, we need to give the maximum effort to gain the movement. And in the second order lever, it is very much easy to get the movement as we have a longer effort arm. So can we apply these concepts to understand the levers in the different movements of the human body? Yes, definitely. But before we study the levers in the human body, let me give you an idea of the three components of the lever system in the human body. So first thing is the articular surface. Articular surface of a joint which forms fulcrum in the lever systems. Second is muscular contractions. Here the muscular contraction in human body which works as a point of application of force, or I can say the effort portion for the lever in the human body. And the third thing is the center of gravity of a particular segment, that is it can be a forearm hand segment, it can be leg or foot segment. So here the center of gravity or any external resistance in the form of a sandbag or a dumbbell, which may work as an resistance or the weight. The concept of a weight arm and the effort arm which remains same. So let us study the first order lever in the human body. So the nodding movement of the head, the first and very easy to understand example, that is nodding movement of the head. So here nodding movement which occurs at the atlanto-occipital joint. So atlanto-occipital joint which works as a fulcrum. Cervical extensor muscles, those are the effort, or I can say the point of application of force, the muscular contraction of these muscles. And the weight of the front portion of our face includes the mandible as well as the facial bones, that works as a weight or the resistance in this lever system. So as you can see that the muscles, cervical extensors, which comes posterior to the atlanto-occipital joint, and the weight of the face as well as the mandible, so which comes anterior to the fulcrum. So it means that fulcrum lies in the middle. So if we apply this concept, so it clearly we can understand that fulcrum lies in the middle, effort on the one end, weight on the one end. So it states that nodding moment of the head is the first order lever. Second order lever, which is the elbow flexion movement. So as we know that brachioradialis is the muscle, is the main elbow flexor. So the effort will be the contraction of the brachioradialis muscle. Weight, so as I applied the concept of center of gravity, so the center of gravity of the forearm and hand segment will work as a weight for this lever, and the effort, that is brachioradialis contraction, fulcrum lies at the elbow joint, and the movement is elbow flexion movement. For the third order lever, the knee flexion is the best example. Knee flexion, so fulcrum is in the knee joint, effort by the muscular contraction of the hamstring group of muscles, and the weight, that is the center of gravity of leg and foot segment. For the second and third order lever, to understand the weight or the resistance, we can add dumbbell or a sandbag. For upper limb, we usually prefer a dumbbell, and for the lower limb, the sandbag will be the ideal one to understand the weight in the lever systems. So as you can see in this diagram, the hamstring group of muscle, as it contracts, it pulls the leg and foot segment towards the proximal portion, and in the second order lever, the elbow flexion movement. So I hope these three examples in the human body are clear to you. So now it comes to the question answers. So as I give 2 to 3 questions for you, checking your knowledge application skills. So here is the first question for you. If a person is standing and a person performs a heel rise or a standing on toes position, so how do you define a lever in this kind of movement? Or I can say the plantar flexion movement in the standing position. And the second thing is, determine the lever or the class of lever in the shoulder flexion movement. I hope you understand the concept of lever, and let me know the answers of these questions. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring. Do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.